Okay, this is my Crybaby Classic wah pedal. I started working on this because it was crackling every time I'd roll on and off of the pedal. And so I decided to deox that little pot there. Well, the way they manufactured it, they put this protective cover over this pot, which prevented me from accessing that convenient little port. So in order to get that cover off, I had to take the pot out to do so. So I did, and then I just cut the cover off, deoxed it, and rotated a few times. And when I tried to calibrate it, I put this little arm all the way to the end of its travel, and then I put the gear, I cocked the gear all the way to that side of the travel to where it was bottomed out, or at the end of the travel, rotationally. So then I went to put it all back together, and I realized, oh man, it's too bassy, and I can't get enough treble out of it when I roll it all the way forward. So then I realized, well, it must not travel completely through the rotation of the pot. So I took it back apart and started looking at it, and I also did some research on YouTube and discovered that little pinion gear does not take the pot completely through the travel rotation that it has. So did a little bit more research and came up with a couple of different ideas that solve that. One of them is see that little you can see I cut off that little rubber stop right there. I cut that little rubber stop off, and I apologize for the lack of clarity on this video. This is my first instructional video, and as usual, I always decide to post these after I've already done the project, but this will explain to you what I did anyway. So I cut those little bumpers off, and that allows me to go all bottom out with the pedal. The other thing that I did was it had this nifty little pad, this little guy, and it was on the bottom side of the pedal right there, and that limited some of the travel as well. So I took that little pad off, I cut those little rubber bumpers out, and then I realized that this little switch here needed to be adjusted to take advantage of all that extra travel I gave it by taking those pads off. So I loosened the nut. It's what is it? I think it's a 14 millimeter nut, or it might be half inch, I don't know. I took that off and removed this little switch. And when I was doing that, before I took it off, I noticed that this little lead for the ribbon was just sticking out to the side. It wasn't even soldered in all the way, or wasn't soldered in at all. It's like they just left it. I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but anyway, I took it out to my workbench and just stuck that little lead into the hole there, and melted some solder onto it to make sure it was connected. So I got that done. I got the switch all adjusted for height. Now, when I step all the way on it, the switch turns off, and you can see I got a little bit of daylight there in the position all the way down with a switch pushed all the way down, bottomed out. So we got that going for us. Then with that, well, to calibrate this, and this is something I couldn't find on YouTube, I turn the pot all the way to the clockwise position as you're looking at it. Oh, but before I did that, I should probably mention this. In the back of the pedal, the rocker, notice that goes all the way down till it touches. So it's actually touching the body of it. Before I could make that happen, it had these nifty little rubber bumpers in there. No, it was just one of them in there. It had two in the front that I took off that I showed you a little while ago. And this one was in the back. I cut that off as well. You can see it's gone. And with it not being there, I can depress it all the way to where it touches the body. So now I got full travel of my pedal. And it's like 1 7/16 inches. I don't know what I had before, but I believe I gained about 1/4 of an inch of travel on this. And at the pinion, because of the way physics work, I got a little bit more than 1/4, probably like 1.5 inches. So, as I was saying a minute ago, getting back to what I was talking about, I put it in the all the way up position, turn the gear all the way clockwise as far as it would go. Then I engaged the little rod to the gear, placed this little tensioner up against it, and tightened it. You don't want to tighten it too much because it's up against a little plastic thing. You just want to snug it real good. And you can see that really goes almost all the way to the end, going all the way to the end of the travel. It still engages in the gears, which is very cool. So then I tightened it, and oh, I forgot to mention that you have to take these nuts out to get that to get the little circuit board off, and there's one little screw holding it on as well. There's a nut on both sides, and the only reason I had to do that was in order to solder that little ribbon, ribbon there. So if yours is fine, you don't need to solder that, then you don't need to take the circuit board out. So just a little side note that thought I'd mention for this project. But anyway, everything all said and done, and this thing calibrated. I plugged it in, and it sounds amazing. I have way more travel. It uses all of the travel of the pot. Make sure you put some more lubricant. I used Vaseline on the pinion and gear, and tried it out, and it's amazing. It sounds great. I got a lot of bass all the way to the end of the travel on the pot, and I got a lot of treble as far as it'll go on the pot. So with this little mod or fix or whatever, you get complete use of that pot. So hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and place them in the comments section. Okay, thanks for watching.